Well, my name is Jael, and I own a photography studio called Artistic Images by Jael in Brookings. I'm a very visual person. I like to be creative, and I also am a big people person. I love working with people. Actually, one person who was a really big part of it was Dr. Mary Arnold, our department head here, who really, I did an independent study with her one semester, and she really taught me a lot about just some basic marketing things and perceived value and how important that is. As far as the funding, it's been mostly from personal savings, so I didn't really have to do financing. And like I said too, just a lot of help from my family and friends, just in building a studio and practicing on people and stuff like that too. Photography in general, portrait photography is a very saturated market. There are a lot of photographers, but I think that if you can successfully brand yourself and have a really unique look, it's really, I think there's definitely enough clientele for everyone. The best way to brand yourself is not by being affordable or by being cheap, so what I try to do now is focus more on the unique aspect of it and the quality of it. There's a couple of photographers in Watertown that I work with a lot. We kind of refer to each other. Say if I'm booked for a wedding, I'll tell people to call her, vice versa. But it's nice to be able to bounce ideas off somebody that's kind of specialized in the same thing. The cool thing about photography is that through a few conventions that I've done, more like internationally, I've met a lot of photographers from just all over the country. The way that my photography is, it's a very candid, personality-driven style, so every session is different. I really try to, for one thing, I always ask that my clients come in and do a consultation before their session so that I can just kind of ask them questions about, well, first of all, what they want to get from their photos, what style they like, but also just about what kinds of things they're interested in, their personalities, and then I try to go from there. I think what are the easiest subjects are people who are very confident and know what they want, what they're looking for, are very organized. But at the same time as that's fun, I also really enjoy taking someone who's maybe a little less self-confident and has never really liked portraits of themselves, and to be able to really show them some beautiful work and make them enjoy it. The thing I like most about all parts of it, whether that be weddings or kids, is I really like candid style where I don't have to spend as much time per se posing the people, but really just capturing them in things that they're doing, and really I feel like that way I can get a lot more of the emotion. I like to have a similar style so that in a way someone can kind of see my work, but I try to not use the same places. That's why I kind of stay away from backdrop, because that's very recognizable, and so I don't want to have two people with very similar looking portraits. I try to give someone everything a little bit different. What I like to do when I shoot around here is just always be finding different places, I like to use a lot of old stuff. I use old cars and stuff like that around here, so that's always a challenge, to find different unique things here that so when someone sees the portraits, they're going to be like, that was in Brookings, where'd you find that? That's what I like. I worked with a candidate from Aberdeen, and one from the Clear Lake area. I also did some work for STN Communications. They did kind of a children's book. I definitely plan to stay in Brookings for probably about 5 years at least. And then within 10 years, I've thought about maybe Minneapolis, actually. I'd kind of like to do a studio there. I've looked at several different markets, just bigger cities with more of a clientele, more of a clientele that appreciates the artistic aspect of it, which around here, people are really enjoying it, but in a way are still a little bit more traditional than, say, Minneapolis, or I've also thought about Kansas City. So I would say similar style. I'd like an urban downtown studio, but maybe in Minneapolis is what I'm thinking.